Welcome back to Caleb's Corner, and today we are looking at the Marvel Legends X-Men's 90s animated series, Wolverine. Now, I was super excited when this figure got revealed because I love this animated show. I grew up watching it, so when I think of Wolverine, this is immediately the thing that comes to mind is this version of Logan. Now, as you can see, plastic-free packaging. There's no plastic on the box whatsoever, except, as the box does note in the corner here, tape and glue. That's it for plastic in this packaging. Everything else is cardboard, which is nice but has its gives and takes. On one side, it's nice to have less plastic in our packaging because it's nice to be a little more environmentally friendly. On the other side, it sucks because we don't get a window to see the figure. So if you're buying this in stores, and granted the VHS line of X-Men animated series will not be in stores, but other figures are coming to big box retail stores with the plastic-free packaging. So with those figures, you can't look at them before you buy them, which sucks for any figures that get this kind of package treatment that go to stores. But with that being said, I think this package does look fantastic. I love the way it's boxed up. I love this nostalgic throwback to VHS boxes from the 90s. It looks fantastic. As you can see, get the X-Men and the Wolverine logo on the side here. And on the side, you'll also get a little bit of a drawing of Wolverine in profile. And if you have the rest of the figures, they do line up nicely on a shelf, which is nice if you keep packaging. I don't, but if you do, it is something to note. And on the back of the box, it looks like a 3D render of the figure and not the figure itself. The figure does show up as pinless, so it does appear that the packaging was manufactured before the figure was finished in its design and production. And then, as always, you can pause right now and read the read-up. That's always on the back of the box. Now, I normally don't show unboxings on the channel. Normally, we just cut in the edit and jump straight to the figure out of the package because how many times can you watch me tear up a plastic sheath in a card? But because it is so different, I decided let's show the unboxing. So I already popped the tape. We'll get into the top of the box. It looks like we're just seeing tissue paper and some cardboard here, so we can slide this out. I think that's everything. Oh, there's some. What did I miss? Warning, don't need that. Get rid of it. So here we have our accessories all kept in some tissue paper off to the side of the main cardboard, and it looks like Wolverine is in his own tissue paper by himself. So let's get him out of his wrapping real quick. All right, cool. So he's actually double wrapped in some waxy tissue paper, and he looks pretty good on first look. I have a couple of things we'll talk about in a second, but we'll get the accessories out, and I'm just going to rip this. It's fine. All right, cool. So we have an alternate head. We have two alternate hands, and they included the image with Cyclops and Jean Grey from the cartoon. That's awesome. But let's go and get him set up. All right, here he is, all good to go. Here is a little bit of a closer look at the accessories, though. Here we have his alternate head with his teeth bared, more of an angry face. And then we have two non-clawed hands. And then we have the infamous photo frame of Jean and Cyclops from the animated series, which is a nice touch. Now, onto articulation. His head will look down this far. It'll look up that far. Now, because his neck is a little bit on the long side, you do get this weird gapping under the chin, which is unfortunate. His head will pivot 360 all the way around, and you do get quite a bit of attitude out of that ball joint there, which is super nice. The butterfly joint will crunch forward this far, it will crunch back about that far. And for the shoulders here, you can get it up to about a 90-degree angle. It's a little bit tricky because you do get these shoulder pads here, which are pinned into the shoulders. So these three, I think, yeah, I just popped it out of the hole, which is fine. You can pin him back into place. Just be careful. They pin in the back right there. But you can get his shoulder up to about a 90-degree angle. You do get your bicep cut, which goes all the way around. And you do get a double jointed elbow, which unfortunately his bicep is too big, so you don't get much range out of it. You only get 90. They could have cut more out of his bicep to help with that, but they didn't, so you don't get any extra range out of that, which is unfortunate. You get no forearm twist. You do get twist on the hands here and pivot up and pivot down. Now, as for Logan's ab crunch, he will go forward this far, and you can crunch him backwards about that far. You also get the cut at the waist, so he will go all the way around here, which is hidden by that belt. His legs will go this far forward, which is a little bit past 90, which is nice, and that far back, which is strange that he actually gets more backwards leg movement than Spider-Man does. You will get the upper thigh cut, so that will go all the way around. You do get a double jointed knee, and then you do get your calf cut, which is hidden within the boot here, which is a nice way to hide that. And then as for the ankle, it will pivot that far back, and then not much forward at all past the flat boot, which is unfortunate. And then you do get the ankle rocker. And for scale, here is our 90s X-Men Wolverine next to our retro symbiote Spider-Man and our retro Shocker. Now let's go ahead and talk about the paint job of this animated Wolverine. Now on the mustard yellow, I am getting some bleed through from that under yellow tone of the brighter yellow bleeding through from the mustard. I do have a little bit of a black splotch here on the inside of this butterfly joint. Not the worst thing in the world, but something I figured I should let you know that I have here. And as for the paint job on the back, we have nothing, zip, zilch, nada, except for the black tiger stripes. You do get some of that mustard yellow on the top of Wolverine's cowl here on the back side. You will get that all the way through on the top of the cowl here. You'll get that mustard yellow through the neck here, in the butterfly joints on the underside of the chest and on the rib cage. You do get two big stripes of it down the legs. As for the blue on the cell shading, you do get some on the front of the shoulder pads, you'll get some on the forearms, and you'll get some darker blues on the diaper piece area. You get nothing on the boots or on the feet. On the back here, nothing on the back of the diaper, the back of the forearms. You do get that on the back of the shoulder pads, though, which is a huge letdown and a shame because where the cell shading paint is, it looks fantastic, but you get nothing on the flesh, nothing on the black colors on the uniform anywhere. It's not on his cowl, it's not on his ribs, which sucks because even on the box art and even in the animated cartoon, you get those white grayish stripes on the black. You get extra colors on the flesh tone. You're getting that a third lighter tone on the blues and in parts of the yellow, and you're getting none of that anywhere here, which is a huge, huge letdown. See, like you get this lightish blue here on the gloves. You're not getting any of that on the figure. You're only getting two tones per color, which is not really how cell shading works, but you're getting nothing else anywhere on that figure. It's super, super unfortunate because this had the potential to be a 10 out of 10 figure. It could have been so good, but they just got lazy with the paint job. And another issue I'm having with the alternate head is paint issues on the bottom here. I'm getting scuffing on the black paints where you can see flesh tone, and then mustard gray on the bright yellow. This is out of the box, and I think I swapped the heads maybe once or twice. And another thing I want to note, the claws were bent out of the box here. I have some photos I took when I opened it. You can see some bending, and the claws are not as straight as they should be. And there's a little bit of bent on the right-hand side here of the closed mouth head. I wish I had a photo of the initial bending. I didn't think to take it, but it was super bent. As for the alternate hands, you don't have any of those silver claw ports that you have on these fisted hands where those claws are coming out of. You don't get those parts on the non-clawed hands because these are a reused mold, which is super unfortunate. We see Logan all the time without his claws out in the show, and he always has those little ports on the top of his gloves. And that's because these gloves are reused. And you can tell that because you can see blue fingernails on these unclawed hands, which just looks disgusting. You don't see that on the other claws, but it looks so, so gross. But there is this fun little detail I noticed with the picture frame of Cyclops and Jean is that it actually opens from the back. So if you wanted to, you could take a photo of your own and shrink it down to this size and put it in this photo case. I'm not sure if it's worth the effort of doing, but it's something you could do, which I thought was just a nice little detail. And oh boy, the more I look at this figure, the more issues we find. The mustard yellow, I just realized it's actually two-toned. I'm not sure if it's intentional, I can't quite tell, but if you look closely, there is a darker mustard yellow here and a lighter up here. And you do get one dark stripe on the red belt for the last bit of cell shading, but they could have done so much more. Like, they should have cell shaded the entire figure. The flesh tone could have used it, the black could have used it. This figure could have popped so much more on your shelf if they just pushed those paint applications and done it. But they didn't. And granted, like I said in my Hobgoblin review, in my Symbiote Spider-Man review, it's not hard to do that for us, right? A little bit of white, add it on the black, a little bit of a darker flesh tone, put it on his arms, it'll pop, and a little bit of red. I could do that myself. It's really easy. I have the paints to do it because I paint miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons. But the point is, I shouldn't have to add these extra details to these figures myself, especially for the premium price that they are charging for these VHS figures. They are Hasbro Pulse exclusive. Before shipping and taxes, it is a $28 action figure, but I think it's beautifully sculpted. I think it's, for the most part, it's well painted, except for where it's just no paint whatsoever. It's a great figure, or could be an even better figure, but because of the premium of 28 before shipping, and I was lucky, I got this on the secondhand market from somebody who accidentally pre-ordered two and just wanted to get rid of this one, so I didn't have to pay the premium. But people are going to pay the premium, and if you're paying that premium, we deserve better. There's no reason why Hasbro didn't just knock it out of the park with this VHS Wolverine. And honestly, the rest of the wave is kind of like that with the paint. It's just lackluster, it's bare minimum, and it lacks that third tone on every single one of the colors. It's just a real shame and kind of an insult, especially that increased markup, which is unfortunate because the body sculpt and the head sculpt is pretty solid. I really like the body mold they're using for this Wolverine. I loved the wide fin mask, like I've said. It's just a shame that they increased the price so much for this figure and pushed it so hard as a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. And I have to take that price point into consideration for its verdict. So overall, I think we're looking at it's a hard one. A 3 out of 10. The body sculpt is great, head sculpt is great, but just that lack of paint job and its over greedy price, I think just really, really knocks it down quite a few pegs. So 3 out of 10. But that is going to do it for this review of the Marvel Legends 90s animated series X-Men's Wolverine. I appreciate you sticking around to the end. If you have this figure or any of the other figures in this wave, let me know down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you agree with anything I said or disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you like the video, feel free to toss it a like and subscribe if you're interested in more videos like this. And I will see you next time here at Caleb's Corner.